What is up, everybody? It is time for another update, because guess what? I'm at 15,000 miles now. In fact, if you don't believe me, let me see if I can even get this guy off. Right there. 15,808 miles. So, as per my promise with all of you YouTube people, that means it's time for another update. Well, the good news is, there is not much that has happened. The cars continue to be reliable and also continue to be fun as hell. Being I drive this about 4 hours a day, it has to be both reliable and fun. Otherwise, I would get bored and I wouldn't even own the car. So a couple of things to note. Number one, I think probably some of you may have read about paint issues on Stingers. Yes, I have them, but they're very minuscule. I'll take a couple shots and I'll put them in right here, which will detail what they are. Basically, there's two marks on the car. There's one on the front edge of the hood, right in front of where my instrument panel is. Or sorry, I should say the back edge of the hood, which is kind of like clear coat that just wasn't put on well. It's not peeling, it's not delaminating or anything, but you can definitely see it if you're looking right there. And the worst part is being where it's at. You know, you see it right here in your vision. And then there's one part on the right rear door as well. It's doing the same thing. So I've been with Kia about Lowe's. Right now we're kind of in a bit of a stalemate where, you know, their local rep is claiming it's damaged. I'm trying to fight that, but more on that a little later. I'll do probably a whole video on that once we have an actual settlement done. But, you know, luckily mine's not one of the yellow Stingers. Those ones are the ones that have severe issues with the paint, and they actually have a full-on recall campaign going on for it. So we'll see what comes with that. Second little update. I am going to a road rally. It's called the Drive Road Rally. It's a Denver poker run. It's going to be going on August 10th through 12th. So if any of you people happen to be in the Colorado area, we're going to be doing a run from Denver down to Pikes Peak. Should be really fun. I'm really excited, and we'll be putting out a video with that as well. So it's got the cars all decaled up. It's got the Drive Road Rally logo as well as my car number on it. Should be really fun. I'm super excited about that. Beyond that, there's a few more interesting things to note about the car. Being, you know, last time I kind of gave a 5 things I would change. Those are still very much in tune with the times as far as what I still think needs to change about this car, but they have added a few things. So one of the biggest gripes that us Stinger owners had for the 2018 model year, the brand new car, they did not include all the options for the US market because we always get shafted here in the US. So for instance, a Canadian Stinger, top of the line, got wireless charging, rear heated seats, and a 3D camera system for the whole car. The US did not get that. I have a GT2 with every option you could get from factory in the States. Did not come with any of that. That's coming for the 2019 model year, so they fixed that. And I'm going to assume they've probably put in preparations to fix the paint issues. It looks like a few small model tweaks, but really nothing major. I wouldn't expect that from a second-year release. But, you know, really, it's just minor updates at best, which is great. I'm glad that the brand is really conscious about trying to make this car better and improve on the areas that they, you know, had downfalls, which, to be fair, was very few considering this car is brand new out of the showroom in just November, December of 2017. So considering the fact that mine was one of the first, I believe, 2,000 bought, really, the fact that I've put as many miles on it as I have and not had any noteworthy issues as far as running goes, you know, that shows a lot of testament to quality, or as far as initial quality goes. I did have to do one service item, which I was hoping would have lasted longer, which is tires. That is another small gripe I have with this car, but it's one of the natures of the car, is that this car has kind of the trifecta of bad tire wear issues. So it's all-wheel drive, so in theory I've got to replace all 4 tires at the same time if they're, you know, have any more amount of wear than probably 25%. It's also rear-wheel bias if you have it in the sport motor you're hooning around, and so therefore it burns the rear tires just like a rear-wheel drive car does. Kind of sucks. And then on top of that, they're staggered. The fronts are 225s, the rears are 255s. You can't rotate them. So between all of those options and whatnot, you cannot change anything that goes on with this car as far as tire goes. Now, some people have experimented with putting the big tires up front, but have had limited success as far as clearance goes, so kind of stuck with it. But I put a good set of Continentals up here that I got a great deal on, and I've had great luck with these tires before as far as being a good tire that does everything well and has longevity, whereas the Michelins did not. So we'll see how much farther that goes. Man, if I could get out of this traffic, I want to just like have some fun, but you know, sometimes that happens. Anyways, so really, there's a bit of talk going around between me and Gavin about, you know, what else could you buy for $50,000 that would really compare to this? Well, there's not much that really compares to it. It's kind of an outlier. So it has the wheelbase that's only a couple inches shorter than the size of an Audi A7 platform, but it's not as long or as roomy as those because it's not a mid-sized car. It's a small-sized car, or classified as such. However, it's got about 6 inches more room in the back than most small-sized cars. So anyway, I mean, for $50,000, you know, I'd like to open this up a little bit. What would you guys cross-shop with this? It's kind of a hard thing to cross-shop for. I mean, 50 grand could get you a fully loaded, really nice 3 Series wagon with X-Drive, with pretty much all the bells and whistles. But that's not as much of a car as this. It's pretty close. It's a BMW, so it's going to be naturally sporty, but I think this is still better in the sport department, and probably better in the luxury department too, because a base 3 Series is not going to have, you know, that much to go on. Now, there's also an M240. That's one that I cross-shopped with. You can get a moderately optioned M240 for this price range, but you're sacrificing some comfort in the rear and also some space. There's not storage space. It's not as practical. One car that I was looking at getting before this would have been a Fiat 124 Abarth Spider, but again, you're losing practicality. You'll get a little more miles per gallon. You'll get, you know, a drop top, you know, depending on whether you like that kind of stuff or not, but you have no rear seats and you have no storage space. There's very little in that car, and it's rear-wheel drive only, which is going to be a nightmare in the winter, whereas I have to have a car that'll work year-round to do what I do. So, anyways, I'm curious to see what you guys would put on here as far as a good comparable cross-shop, or what you guys would cross-shop going towards a Stinger. And I'm talking about brand new, none of this used car bullcrap. I do that all the time too. However, I'm talking about specifically brand new cars that you could compare with this and cross-shop. Because I think me and Gavin have gone through most of the motions of what you could, but I'm curious what you guys come up with. So, that's about it for this video. Sign on next time. Next week is the rally, so after that point, you know, be looking for some updates for a video. Should be pretty fun. I'm excited to see what's going on. I know there's a few really good cars, including a McLaren or two that may be coming along with. So look along for that. But to kind of end this video, we'll give a short freeway blast. Stay tuned for that. You know what's funny is I've come to love this car's sound. It's on point. Don't care about the fact it's synthetic in the cabin. They did a good job. Anyways, have a good one.